Hey, Zamani with Build Brothers, starting my digital inspection. We're at a property in the Carlsbad area, and for these digital inspections, we always like to start underneath the eaves, just to get an idea of the condition of the wood. Now, the eaves consist of, we have the fascia board, we have the rafter tails, and then we have the starter boards. And there's no rotten wood on the front side of the house, but on the back side, there is a couple pieces of termite damaged wood. So I wanted to note that. But what we're looking at here is a architectural asphalt shingle roof. There is drip edge, and after peeking underneath this, well, this is in fact an overlay. So there's 2 layers of shingle on this roof. Now, the reason why we were called out was for a couple pieces of rotted out wood on the near the back patio. But again, we want to check the rest of the condition of the roof, right, while we're out here. And first things first, exposed nail heads. This is a common theme on this roof. We see quite a few exposed nail heads. Those are never a good sign, because each time we see one and those aren't sealed up, well, that's a leak waiting to happen. And we see the same thing around the chimney flashing as well, right? So those are exposed. Now, this is the east facing side of the roof. Well, if we look at the west facing side, you can see the difference between the granule loss, right? The reason why this happens is those oils began to evaporate under the sun after sitting there for years and years, and those granules eventually fall off and sit in the gutters, right? And that's when we start to see that shiny fiberglass material show through. So this greatly affects the waterproofing capability of the product, right? It's gonna have a harder time keeping that water out. So again, more exposed nail heads. We have this around the ridge cap, and then we do have a solar system as well. And we have 2 old water heaters that are no longer in use, so we could definitely get rid of those. And then we have 2 whirlybirds. And looks like this could have been overhead, either overhead service or old satellite dish that was removed in the past. But you can see more granule loss on the front side as well, on the 2nd story. And we got a couple more exposed nail heads. And then moving on over here, we have broken seals around these penetrations, right? So anytime these are broken, again, another opportunity for rain to get into here, and then more exposed nail heads. These ones are actually stapled in. It's interesting. And then another broken seal. Right. We've exposed staple heads over here. Another one. We have a blown off shingle tab. And then this is another red flag that we come across very often. And similar to what was going on near the ridge, we have satellite dishes that are most likely out of use, and it's bolted into the roofing material itself. So that's never a good sign. Water is definitely getting into this area as well. So, you know, given the roof's condition, especially too, anytime you want to, you have something attached here, you don't want it bolted into the roofing material itself, because that's when you're going to get water intrusion, right? So you always want to make sure that this attachment is attached to a piece of wood. But overall, given the roof's condition, right, I know we were focusing mainly on the wood underneath here, but I would professionally recommend this getting re-roofed, right? There's a lot of critical areas on here, a lot of exposed nail heads, and there's a lot of exposed staple heads as well. And you can see the roofing, you know, product has gone past its life expectancy, especially on the west facing side, right? We have a ton of granule loss and a lot of fiberglass showing through right? And we already have 2 layers on this, so you know, adding another layer wouldn't really be an option. We'd have to tear this down to the wood decking and address any rotten wood that needs to get replaced, right? That gets done on a discovery basis. We can't determine the amount that needs to get replaced until we actually take off this old material, right? And we are licensed and certified. We have in-house crews to remove and reinstall all these solar panels safely. And again, we can get rid of these. And then for the attic ventilation, we don't use whirlybirds. We like low profile O'Hagan vents. There's no moving parts, so it's not going to get rusted like you see here. And we want to allow that roof to breathe, right? Just giving an idea, this is exactly what we use. Those are low profile Hagen vents, and with these are whirlybirds. So this is essentially what we would use to replace. But yeah, I would recommend full re-roof. I'll get this out to the homeowner. Thank you.